Suddenly realized what was different about this. I didn't put myself on my starting soon screen. So y'all have just been watching me putter around my house. Hi! Oh my good grief. Wow. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the stream. It's Tuesday, so we're here for Perpetual Motion, the class where we do not stop moving for the entire hour. Look at me, I'm getting flushed. I'm a little embarrassed about that. It's all right. It's all right. I feel like I have to make every streamer mistake once, and then I won't have to make it again, right? That's how that goes. So I've already done doing an entire stream without my mic turned on, and now I've done going live when I meant to have my starting soon screen up, but just having the live scene up. So great, awesome, sweet. Oh my god, I hope everybody's having a good week so far. Obviously, we're not that far into it, but you know, time has no meaning, so it could feel like things are just racing along for you, or it could feel like this week has already lasted a million years, and I am here for you, whichever way you're feeling, because I've felt both of these things quite a lot over the last few months, and yeah, it's just fascinating. Ooh, I'm getting some really great ooh. Look, you know, sometimes we just have to have kind of silly streams that don't take themselves too seriously, and clearly today is going to be that stream. So let's not take ourselves too seriously today, my friends. Let us just be happy in the fact that we are here, and we have internet connections, and we have the ability to move our bodies, and keep ourselves healthy and strong, and just, yeah, hopefully feel a little bit better about ourselves, so that we can get out there and keep changing the world. So I'm going to be giggling about that all damn stream, my friends. If you are new to our Tuesday class, Perpetual Motion, quite literally is the class where we don't stop moving. So from the moment that we start that warm-up, we are going for the whole rest of class, and where usually we would come to the end of a sequence and the ending horn would blow on the timer, and we'd go, okay, cool, now we can, stop, get a drink, etc., etc. In this class, when that ending horn blows, we immediately start doing our active rest exercise, which generally is cross jacks. And I'll show you what that looks like when we transition from the warm-up into our first active rest interval. But yeah, we're not going for big movement for our active rest exercise. It is designed to be a bare minimum movement so that you can get your breath down, get your heart rate down, get a little bit of the sensation of rest while still moving, okay? Like trying to move back and forth around this. But no stopping, no sitting down, no twiddling your thumbs. Nope, you are moving the whole time. So it's an intense class. It's going to require some good energy management from everyone. We're always looking to improve ourselves there. So let's get started. Oh man. All right, pre-class checklist time. Everybody's got your water bottle filled with water. Oh man. Everybody's got your comfy clothes to exercise in. Everybody's got your mat set up on the floor. And if you use a fitness wearable, let's turn them on right now. Yeah, high intensity interval training is what we use for most of my classes. The only day that I switch that up is Fridays, which is our strength training day. So hit it is, and it's time for that warm up. So here we go. Let's get my timer app open. And let's get started. Oh man, just digging right into it. So everybody over here on your mats, on your backs, 1 foot crossed over the opposite knee. And we are going to start as soon as we hear the horn with our hip rocks and bridges. And so we're getting started on our first side. When the timer goes off again, we'll switch to our second side. Oh man, my apartment smells so good right now. Yum, yum, yum. So yeah, we are not starting out at the peak of our energy or ability. We are warming up, quite literally. We're engaging systems, turning things on in our muscle fibers, in our brains, getting our bodies ready for exercise. So I'm definitely not doing really intense movement right now, and I suggest that you follow my lead. That's why you're here, right? To have a teacher whose lead you can follow. So yeah, always remember that, you know, it can be easy to, like, especially if you're having a day, all right, switch feet. If you're having a day where you're feeling really energized and like really ready for exercise, and it can be really easy to come into class and be like, all right, I gotta start at the top of my energy meter right now because I'm here and I'm ready and yeah. And then what happens, of course, is by the end of class, you're falling over on the floor because you have no energy left because you used up a huge chunk of it for that warm-up sequence and then had nothing left for the rest of class. And this is a class that's going to take energy because we are moving the whole time. This is our marathon class, right? So this is the class that, you know, I frequently use the marathon versus sprint mentality metaphor, but it is particularly appropriate for a class like this, which is very similar to any sort of a race sequence where your expectation is to keep moving the whole time you are on the course. All right, now we are up on one side. We're doing our best Jane Fonda impression. Remember, we have 2 more leg exercises on this side before we switch over to the other side and do them all again. So when the timer goes off, do not go switching over to the other side yet. We're not ready for that. So just stay here. We're balanced on our hip. We're keeping our bodies in a nice straight line. Use the front of your mat if you are having trouble telling whether you're able to keep your body in a straight line. The edge of your mat is a great measuring stick because you can just sort of align yourself along it and then make sure that you're engaging the working glute so that it feels like you're pulling the leg backwards a little bit. You're not, I promise. You're just getting it in that nice straight line. All right, now taking that top foot, putting it flat on the floor in front of the bottom knee, and we are lifting that bottom leg. Woohoo! Oh man, I've been doing research today into how to build out Twitch overlays and stuff like that, because there's obviously plenty of stuff that I would like to do with the overlay during the streams. You know, from an informational standpoint, even just like, here is the list of the exercises that we're doing right now. Here is our timer on screen so that you can see the numbers moving and not just me, you know, that kind of a thing. And yeah, I have plenty of ideas. Now I just need to be able to execute them. So it's a learning experience, my friends. All right, that top foot is now flat on the floor behind the bottom knee, and we are still lifting that bottom leg. I'm excited to dig more into this, though. You know, I've been planning out the glow up of the channel for a while, and you know, it will be likely a slow process, obviously, but I'm really excited about it. I'm excited to spruce things up on here a little bit and, you know, see what we can do, see how we can grow as we go forward. So And as always, I'm very happy to have you all with me as I figure all this stuff out. Kind of wild, but these are strange and new times, so what better time to try something totally new than in an unprecedented time? That's how that goes, right? All right, we are switching over to the other side, doing the same 3 exercises. So we're back on our side, doing our Jane Fonda. I want you to make sure that you've engaged your core muscles, your abs down here, just to help stabilize you in this, what is essentially a balanced position. And it's not a huge balance, but you know, there is obviously potential to roll forward or backwards if you're not fully engaged with where you are. So engaging those core muscles, that's just a great stabilizing muscle group. I talk about it a lot during these classes, honestly, and I think that the more that we can really build that up and pay attention to strengthening it, the easier and better a lot of this work gets. So make sure that you're checking in on it, especially while we're warming up. All right, top foot in front of that bottom knee. Now we are lifting that bottom leg. Oh, behind my ears are sore because I was out for a while and I had to be wearing a mask the whole time, obviously. And so now I just have those nice sore patches behind my ears, like not headachy, but just, you know, when I put my glasses on, I'm like, I feel that. Having glasses and masks on is just its own special negotiation. Because, you know, I've been wearing glasses since I was 12 years old probably, and I'm obviously used to that feeling of the glasses on the top of my ears, but adding in an additional item on top of the ears that the glasses have to then contend with definitely adds some different pressure on there that I'm still not fully used to. All right, foot behind that bottom knee, lifting that bottom leg. Here we are at the end of our leg sequence, and we will soon start our back and hips sequence that will get us, after our scorpion twists anyway, up off the floor, moving around on our mats. So the time for lying on the floor is almost over, my friends. But I know you're ready for it because you're here. So clearly you are ready for it. You're ready to rock. You are ready to roll. You are ready to sweat your heart out and then have just the most amazing shower at the end. Really, I think that's why I exercise, is for the shower at the end, because it's just such a satisfying feeling. Alrighty, now onto your stomachs, forearms planted on the floor, and we're doing scorpion twists. So do not let those elbows come up for any reason, okay? You can twist only as far as you can go with your elbows still on the ground. So if you can't get to foot flat on the floor, knee pointing up towards the ceiling without lifting an elbow, then you can't yet get there. And that is totally fine, okay? Obviously, if you've taken this class for a while, you know that I have a huge focus on doing exercises correctly. And part of that is not forcing ourselves to try and reach improved places that our bodies are not ready for. So overstretching, you know, trying to really shove yourself into that stretch before you're ready for it, and then you end up pulling something. That's gonna put a major damper on your exercise routine, and yeah, I'd rather that you don't have to deal with that because it's not pleasant. You know, a big part of my job, and you know, the part of it that I honestly take the most seriously is making sure that you are as safe as possible while you're doing all of this stuff. and challenging ourselves. Absolutely. Safety does not mean that we're not challenging ourselves. It just means that we are not putting ourselves in danger to do so. And maybe it means that your ramp up, your improvement takes a little bit longer than you really wish it would. And I know that feeling, but also better to move there a little more slowly and get there and actually be able to keep that improvement than to try and push yourself too hard, too fast, and then end up injuring yourself, which means that you're probably having a recovery period, which means that your body is detraining, which means that you have to start not completely over again, but kind of start over again. So remember the importance of doing the exercise correctly and the importance of listening to your body when it tells you things, okay? And not trying to muscle through just because you think that you should or because you have this goal that you're trying to meet, okay? Really nice to have goals. We should all have goals, but we should also not injure ourselves in the process. All right. Ooh, Samson stretches. Oh, yes. Getting right down in there, really stretching out the front of the hips right here. So I've got this leg straight back behind me, and I'm really just, as I sink into this lunge, stretching out the front of the hip flexor there. And man, oh, does that feel nice? Have you been sitting in a chair all day? Have you been working basically an office job from home, not really needing to get up too much? Well, then the hips and back sequences of our warm-up are for you, because your body is probably just dying for a little bit of stretching and some movement in these areas. All right, nice deep squat here, and we're dipping our shoulders in towards the midline. First one, then the other. Remember, your knees stay safely over your feet. They don't come up. They don't try and dip in as you dip in a shoulder. Having your hands on your knees is critical. It's exactly why we do it here. To make sure that the only thing that is moving are your shoulders, okay? So really dig into it. Enjoy this nice deep squat position, or, dream of the moment that it's over. I realize that it's probably easier for me because practice, but alrighty. Now we've reached cardio. Hey, so here we are at our jumping jacks. And again, just because we've hit the cardio section does not mean that we are suddenly ramping up to full intensity, right? We are still in the warm-up. We are still booting up our bodies and our brains, okay? So always take that mentality through the entire warm-up, We're not here to be doing the best jumping jacks that anyone has ever seen. No, I'm not jumping my feet out that far. I'm keeping my elbows bent the whole time, sort of tapping my fingers above my head, but that's really it. So we are still in warm-up mode, boot up mode. These are the last keys to turn, basically. All right, kick through time. So we're here, getting our heart rate up a little bit, getting our breath up a little bit, pushing that oxygen more quickly through the body, and getting it ready to really get those fuel systems going. That's a huge thing. All right, we're turning on all of the energy production systems. I had to stop because I love this stuff. We're turning on our energy production systems. That is what we need to get through an hour-long workout. And it starts with oxygen. Hooray! So make sure that you are breathing and that you're not just trying to muscle through. I don't need to breathe. Breathing's for other people. No, breathing's for you. All right, last but not least, here we are doing our burpees. Remember, wave push-up, not a plank push-up, okay? So make sure that you are waving down and up, and then that nice big victory clap up at the top, and then come back down and do it again. Keep those elbows in by the sides as you do that wave push-up, okay? Even though it's a wave, we still don't want the elbows flapping out, right? We want to focus the work on our triceps when we do that push-up, as with any of the other push-ups that we do in class, okay? All right, don't stop moving. Hey, I know you really wanted to stop moving, but what you are doing instead are cross jacks. So this is our first time doing them today. So see, bare minimum movement. My hands are going out, in, as are my feet. And you're crossing your feet one in front of the other. You're crossing your hands one on top of the other each time. But again, really soft, tiny movements. So out and then in. All right, I've crossed one foot over the other, got one hand on top. Out, in. I've switched for both, okay? And that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing for the rest of the class. No. We will come in and out of that, but that is the exercise that you go into every time that timer ends, okay? So make sure that you are mentally prepared for that. You know, we're not stopping. You need to be able to slow your breath down and slow your heart rate down while still doing that active rest exercise, okay? It's intense. It's intense. So be ready. Be proud of yourself. Pump yourself up. Be your own cheerleader. And let's keep going with class. Hey. And don't forget to keep drinking water, even if it's a little bouncier than usual, okay? Water, still important. All right. So we are going to do a perpetual motion sequence, and we're going to have 3 exercises, go through them 3 times each. Let me show you which ones, and then I'll tell you what the interval will be. So we are going to do squats with a knee raise. So I'm going to take this nice position, my feet are shoulder width apart. I'm going to squat down, keeping my knees going straight over my feet, as with all squats. So squat down. As I stand, I'm going to come onto one foot and lift the other knee like this, then down and up. And I'll just be alternating back and forth, okay? Second exercise, side to side superheroes, which we haven't done in a while. All right, so I'm going to lie down on my side. I'm going to lift my legs and my arms totally off the ground and keep them there. And then I'm going to roll over my back, come up on my other side, and go back and forth and back and forth. You do not have to keep your body in a straight line when you're lying on your side. I generally sort of bend myself into almost a U shape. Helps the balance, especially if you're going for a little speed back and forth. So don't worry about having to keep your body straight the whole time. That is not necessary. But you do have to keep your arms and legs off the ground the whole time and make sure that that core is engaged to do so. And then the third exercise is going to be double leg mountain climbers. And we're going to do the style where your knees come to the outsides of both elbows as you come forward. So, as with all mountain climbers, starting in my plank position, but instead of alternating knees, I'm going to jump all the way up. My knees are in the outsides of my elbows, and then jump back to that plank and go back and forth. So from the front, when I jump forward, here are my knees, okay? On the outsides of my elbows, and then going back. All right, so those are our 3 exercises. Squat with a knee raise, side-to-side superhero, and double-legged mountain climbers. All righty? And you're still doing your cross jacks, because of course you are. Hey. All right. As soon as you hear the timer, however, you start on those squats. Ready? Hey. So part of the bare minimum, which is the bare minimum of what I ask, and if you are new to class or haven't taken in a while, you should be starting here, is starting on time, stopping on time, and doing the exercise correctly. Well, starting on time is easy when you have a Tabata timer, which has rest built in and lets you go, okay, I'm resting. Okay, that sound means I'm going. Simple. When we're doing perpetual motion and you are having to go straight from one exercise to the other, you don't have that same ability, you know? You don't have the ability to set yourself up for the position before you have to be doing the exercise, okay? So what starting on time means here is minimizing the amount of time that it takes you to get from one exercise to the other, okay? So just then, when we were coming out of cross jacks and into those squats, that was pretty easy. You know, you're already up on your feet, and all you have to do is get into position and go. From here, when you were doing the side-to-side superhero just then, and then need to start doing your double-legged mountain climber, that's pretty easy too, you know, because you're just up on one hip, and you're like, okay, roll over, here I am. From here, you're changing planes, so that's a little more complicated. So you have to be thinking ahead, right? You can't be so caught up in what you're doing that when that horn goes off, you go, where am I? What am I supposed to be moving to right now? And then you're losing precious seconds because you don't know where you're supposed to go. You don't know, oh, here I am. I'm supposed to come up for more squats with the knee raise, you know? So make sure that you are planning ahead. This is a 45-second work interval. I don't think I actually said that before we started, because usually I tell you a little bit sooner, but you have a while, okay? You have a while to plan your strategy to get from one exercise to the next. And once you've already gone through one rotation, which we just have, that means you know how it feels to move from exercise to exercise. So you know how it feels to then go straight down and come into your side-to-side superheroes. All right, so each time should be easier. Each time you should be able to move a little more quickly, a little more smoothly, and get started with the new exercise a little more quickly, okay? So that is our goal, and that is our goal throughout perpetual motion today, because it's gonna happen every single time. There is never a point in this class when you will not be coming out of one exercise and into another. All right, we're coming, including at the end of this work interval. Because when that ending horn goes off, then you don't get to just lay down and go, oh, thank goodness. You have to stand back up and start doing those cross tracks again, right? So make sure that you understand your paths between each exercise and that you try and visualize it before you're actually doing it, rather than, you know, I'm here, I'm going along, I'm like, oh gosh, okay, is my knee coming up high enough? Okay, I think this is good. Oh wait, what is my, no, it's here. Okay, here, I think, oh no, I have to lift my, you know, that kind of a thing. So really make sure that you have those trails mapped out, okay? That is your goal today. That is your goal pretty much every day, because even if you do have that little rest interval, you still need to have that mapping, because even if I was resting, I only have 10 seconds to do that usually if it's a Tabata. So I would stop my squats and then be like, oh wait, where do I have to go now? So it is always helpful and relevant to make sure you know how you are getting from one exercise to the other exercise. All right, we are in our last sequence here. We're in our last rotation through these exercises. So that was the last time you had to do squats with the knee raise. This right here, last time that you were doing your side-to-side superheroes. And then once that timer goes off again, we'll have our last time for double-legged mountain climbers. And then we'll be back to everybody's favorite, cross jacks. Make sure you are drinking water during that though. Even bouncing up and down, small sips, obviously you don't want to choke on too much water, but it is still important that you're hydrating, even in a class where you're not stopping moving, okay? So plan that out too. You know, right now you're doing your double-legged mountain climbers, you're on your last sequence of exercises for this run. As soon as that horn goes off again, you'll be up on your feet doing your cross jacks and then figuring out, okay, where's my water bottle? Have I put it somewhere within easy access of a standing position so that when I'm doing the cross jacks, I can move myself over to it easily, pick it up, sip it, and put it down without having to lean over and, you know, do anything like that. You want to be able to keep doing those cross jacks the whole time, starting right now. Hey, all right, so climber up onto your feet, and you are doing cross jacks again. Yes, you are, my friends. Oh, yes. We do not stop. Can't stop, won't stop. It's cross jack time. Oh, my shoulder. Yeah. Now, my shoulder is always feeling things in these Tuesday classes. It's fascinating. It makes a certain kind of sense, but whoo-wee. I'm gonna be kind to my shoulder today, my friends. But good job. Yeah. All right. Ooh. Oh, it's been a while since I've done one of these. Okay. We're going to do this a couple times in class, so get prepared. We're going to do a guided back and forth, okay? So what does that mean? There's two exercises, and they move well together in and out of each other, all right? And I am going to be beating out a rhythm for you, and you are going to be listening to me call out as you do 5 repetitions of one exercise, then 4 of the next, then 5 of the first, then 4 of the next, and going back and forth like that. And I'll be keeping the rhythm, so you will have to do them within this rhythm that I am keeping, okay? You do not get to choose your own rhythm. You have to stay with the beat. Oh boy. All right. So we just did squats with a knee raise. Now we're going to do squat jumps. So that's the first exercise. That's the one that you do 5 of, okay? So our squat jump, we go down into that same squat position, and then we jump and land back in the squat. So it's just going to be and jump and jump and jump and jump and jump, okay? Then we go into toe squats, which if you've taken class, you know, we have our feet hip width apart, backs straight up and down the whole time, and we're letting our heels come off the ground so that we can come all the way down here and then all the way back up and down and up. All right, so we're going to be doing, here's what the rhythm is going to feel like. It's going to be and jump and jump and jump and jump and jump. Toe squats. 1, 2, and 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 back to jumps. That's what it's going to be like the whole time. All right, so everybody back on your mats, and I'm going to get that rhythm going, and we're going to get ready. All right, ready? 5, 6, and here we go. And jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats down, 2, up, 2, down, 2, up, 2, down, 2, up, 2, down, 2, and back, 2 jumps, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats down, 2, up, 2, down, 2, up, 2, down, 2, up, 2, down, 2, and back, 2 jumps, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and back, 2 jumps, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and here's the last time. Jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and back to cross jacks. Hey! Good job, everybody. Oh my goodness. And now you're cross jacking again, and I know, but you're doing such a good job, okay? Good job, everybody. Yeah, it's really intense when you're trying to keep yourself to someone else's rhythm, you know? It's something that we don't think about a lot, that we really are. We don't always have control over how long we have to do an exercise, how many times through, etc., but we almost always have full control over the rhythm that we set for ourselves, the tempo we set for ourselves for performing that exercise. And we don't in this one, and it's really intense. It gives you something new that you have to focus on. So good job. All right. Woo, that was a loud clap. We're going to go back to perpetual motion, 45-second work intervals again. And here are our 3 exercises. So we are going to do, it's not really a box curtsy because we're not doing it off of a box. If I had a nice big box, I'd be standing on it, and I would let one leg sort of drop off the box as I came down, and then I would push myself back up and go to the other side. Saul's box, we're going to just try and come down to, it's essentially a lunge, but almost all of my weight is on my front leg. And then push back up and down. So you can let that back foot come down, but you are keeping the weight on your front leg. You're keeping that leg actively working to push you back up each time, okay? So this is our from the floor version of box curtsies. Second exercise is going to be push-ups. You can do your push-ups from a plank for just full-on plank push-up, standard, butts out of the air, down and up. You can do from your knees, down and up. You can do some variation of go down in a plank and then wave, or opposite, or you can do a wave push-up. The only thing that I need you to make sure of is that you are keeping your elbows in by your sides the whole time. And then our third exercise is going to be bicycles. I don't do this one often because it's really easy for people who are not actually engaging their core and who are trying to compensate with other muscle groups to sort of end up wrenching their necks. So as we're doing this, I want you to be really aware. I have engaged my core. That's what's keeping my shoulders off the ground. I'm not pulling myself up by the shoulder. It's these abs. And I've got one leg extended straight, the other one, my knee is in. And I'm just going to keep my elbows sort of in front of me and reach this elbow to that opposite knee and then switch. And we're just going to go back and forth, but make sure that you're engaging your core while you're doing this, not pulling yourself by your head and neck, okay? That's the biggest issue I see. And because this is a position that kind of lends itself really well to people just kind of wrenching their heads forward, I'm gonna hammer that home a little bit, all right? Okay, so those are our three exercises. We've got the box curtsy, we've got push-ups, and we've got bicycles. So take your cross-jacking self back over to your mat, and as soon as you hear that horn go, we will start the box curtsy. All right, hey, so here we are. And we're not having to do anything with our arms, you know, I'm just keeping them down. I am, however, engaging my core, especially as I'm sort of waving this other leg behind me. I want to make sure that I can control its weight, you know, so that I give that front leg a bit of a hand as I'm standing up to it. All right, and we're going back and forth and back and forth. Okay, so basically the two muscle groups getting the most play are my quads and my core right now. All right, and now down to push-ups. I'm gonna be a little careful on these buddies, but again, I really don't care, but I do care about this. Keeping your shoulders straight over your wrists and keeping your butt out of the air. So if I'm starting from here, my butt's not up here, it's here. And I'm not pushing my shoulders back behind my wrists or in front of them. You want a nice, stable structure from your shoulder down through your hand into the floor, okay? You want to create this nice 90-degree angle like that. All right, and now we're doing bicycles. So engaging those cores, going back and forth. So this twisting helps to get the obliques in on the action, which is fun. Always enjoy a little bit of that. And just going back and forth. I don't put my hands behind my head because I don't want to give myself any reason to try and pull myself forward by my head and neck. This is all core right here, all right? Every bit of it. And I can tell because it's starting to feel a little tired. All right, and now you're back around to that box curtsy. Oh, it's nice. I have a very strong core, so not a ton makes it feel tired, but that was nice. That was some solid engagement there. I like it. I like it a lot. And let me tell you, I hope that this is a class that you come back to more and more frequently. Or if not this one, then one of the other classes in my weekly schedule, because it is so exciting to hit those points. And frequently, we'll hit them without even realizing it. We'll just sort of come into class one day and go, this feels a lot easier than I remember it feeling before, you know? Like, I used to not be able to do a push-up from a plank position before. And now, wow, that feels a lot easier, you know? And it's just so exciting to have those moments. But we can't get there if we're not able to create a regular schedule for ourselves, you know? And that can be really hard. Believe me, you know, we live in a society that measures our worth on how busy we are. And so we have a tendency to try and pack our days and our weeks with things to do and then be like, oh God, I just don't have any free time. And, you know, frequently we'll say that as if it's a badge of honor. Obviously you can tell my feelings on that. I think it is so important to honor rest as much as we honor work, you know? Because we need rest. Our bodies need rest. Our brains need rest. We need to be able to take time that is free for us to play or to sleep or to relax with no demands placed on us. That is a critical component of mental health, and we have really just convinced ourselves that if you're not working 24/7, 365, that you are somehow worth less or not working hard enough or don't care enough, you know, any one of a million terrible things that we say to ourselves to try and convince ourselves to go, go, go all the time. So I recognize it's ironic for me to talk about the importance of rest in a class where you're not actually getting any true rest, but the point still stands. And that doesn't mean that we can't have, you know, really nice intensive periods of work like this, where we are moving for an entire hour without stopping. But when we get done with that, make sure that you're finding time to rest. And take a look at everything you've packed into your day and go, am I just trying to fill my day because I have been conditioned to believe that if my day is not filled, that I am somehow less valuable? And if that is the case, what can I do to relieve that pressure from myself? You know, maybe there's a ton of projects that I want to do, and I'm trying to do them all at once. And I'm not doing any of them very well because I'm trying to do a ton of projects all at once. So take a step back and go, what is the project I want to focus on now? It's not to say that I don't want to do those other projects and I won't get to them, but better to stand up and start doing cross checks. Better to give yourself one thing to focus on, one thing that you can really hone in on and really dig into, and then feel like you've done a good job on it, and then be able to take that energy and that success and bring something else back that you want to work on, you know? But we're surrounded by messaging. We're surrounded by, rise and grind and hustle, side hustle, and all of this stuff. Phrases that I've always just absolutely hated because they leave no time for rest. They leave no option for rest. Rise and grind. I'm not even able to get out of bed before I'm supposed to be grinding. Like, that's terrible. And it's hard. It's hard to push through that. And I have been feeling a lot better about it for myself recently, but it's an ongoing process. It is probably going to be a lifelong process. And that can feel really frustrating and at times demoralizing. But honestly, the strides that I have made in that arena have helped me to feel so much healthier and so much more excited about the things that I am doing, because now I feel like I have the energy for them. So there you go. That's your lecture on rest for the day. And speaking of not resting, we are going to do another round of the guided back and forths. Same 2 exercises. So you know what you're doing. You know what the expectation is. You know about what the rhythm is going to be. So everybody on your mats, cross-check your way to your mats. Get ready. And 5, 6, here we go. And jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and back, 2 jumps, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and back, 2 jumps, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and back, 2 jumps, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and here's our last time. Jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and back to cross jacks. Hey, good job, everybody. Woohoo! Yeah. See, wasn't it easier the second time? You had a better sense of the rhythm. You knew what you were being asked to do, so it didn't feel quite as foreign to be going off of someone else's rhythm. Really, what I'll have to do someday to mess it all up is just totally change the rhythm the second time. But I am not that evil today, because that was the only time you have to do that. So, you're good. All right, my friends, we are going to do another perpetual motion set. This will be our last perpetual motion set for the day, and then we'll do some calf awareness, and then our long national nightmare of perpetually moving will be over. But for our last perpetual motion set, here are our 3 exercises. First, we're gonna do a turtle plank. And if you've taken class with me for a while, you know that when I say turtle, it means the first part is rolling up onto your shoulders. Ah! Try not to roll too far. Generally, you don't have enough time to stay up that way, but I definitely almost somersaulted into my bookcase just then. All right, so roll up, and then roll up on your feet. Plant your hands, jump back to that plank, jump forward, and go. So we're not doing a push-up or anything. We're just rolling, jumping into the plank, jumping forward, and going again, okay? Second exercise is, lunge to the hand or elbow. Okay, so we are gonna take a nice, deep lunge, straight leg and back, okay? And you're gonna do one of 3 things. You can just come down to a hand on the ground, that's fine. You can put that hand down and use it to guide yourself down to being on the elbow, or you can bypass the hand completely and just go straight down to the elbow. And then you step forward to the other side and go back and forth. If you've never done this before and you don't have a sense of your hip flexibility, start with just go into the hand, okay? And then if you're like, okay, that's easy, then test out hand down to elbow. And maybe you go, ooh, that's a little too much right now. I'm gonna stick with the hand. Awesome. Or maybe you go, that's not quite enough of a challenge. Then you can try for going straight down to the elbow, all right? And then our third exercise is a full body tick-tock. So we're gonna get into our pike position as we usually do. And I'm not gonna have you for these. Usually tick-tock means that we're bringing the arms back and forth. Today, what I'm gonna have you do, I've got my arms on either sides of the knees, elbows, and I'm going to extend down, full body. My legs are still off the floor, my arms and chest are still off the floor, and then back up to that plank, or that pike. Down, up, down, up, down, up, over and over again, okay? So those are our 3 exercises. We've got turtle planks, we've got lunge to the hand or elbow, and we've got full body tick-tocks. All right, so everybody cross jack back to your mat, and we are gonna get going. As soon as you hear that timer, then you need to figure out how to get yourself nicely and smoothly into dropping your glasses on the ground. Yay! Oh my God, I have an optometrist appointment next week, and I am so excited. Anyone who's been taking stream with me for a while knows that my poor glasses have been broken so long that they've got just that lovely, the frame is literally being held together with Gorilla Glue right now. And they're super stretched out because I've had them for years. And yes, before you ask, I have gotten them retightened many times, and we're at the point where that just doesn't cut it anymore. So I am very excited to get an updated prescription so that I can then order a bunch of new glasses and not have to just constantly be yelling at these things because they're falling off of my face every damn moment. So, woo, huzzah! I am excited for new glasses. Of course, that part will take longer because then I have to actually order them and do all the, I'm gonna use one of those online services, which, you know, I have to do all the measurements for my head to make sure that they fit correctly and all that jazz. But it's a first step. It's a first step in something that I really need to get done. And I am excited to be taking that step. Hey, check in on your form. As you're doing these TikToks, is it your core that is bringing you back up to that pike? Or are you trying to pull yourself forward by your neck? All right? Whenever we do ab exercises, I always come back to this because it is the most frequently voiced complaint when we do ab work. People are like, my neck is really stiff afterwards or really sore afterwards. And what that means is that you're trying to compensate for not having a lot of strength here. You're trying to bypass your core and pull yourself along using your head and neck, or maybe using your arms or something like that. And that is why you keep feeling stiff in the neck, because you're not actually doing the exercise with your core. So if you've been experiencing that, I want you to do that slow leg lower exercise that I frequently do in class. I'm going to put a video up for it on my YouTube channel. But that is a great exercise for both, I went into Samson stretches and not what we're actually doing. That is a great exercise both for assessing the strength of your core and for then helping to strengthen it. Because there isn't a way for you to compensate with other muscle groups. Not if you want to keep your lower back pinned to the floor as you're supposed to do in that exercise. So it takes away all of our tendencies to try and compensate with other areas and makes us just really focus in on the muscle group that's supposed to be working. So, woo! Definitely do that. If you've been feeling not strong enough, not as strong as you want to here, oh my goodness, where are we? Oh, you're doing your second set of full body TikToks. I talked so long about abs that we came back around to the ab exercise. Excellent. Oh, my friend, you are doing so well. And in just a second, that timer will go off and we'll be starting our last run through these 3 exercises. And then as soon as that's done, you'll go into your cross jacks, but you won't stay there long before we do our calf awareness program. And that is going to be a really nice way to cool down while also still doing some last bits of perpetual motion before you finally get the joy of stopping moving. All right? So here you are. You're on your last set of turtle planks. Check in on your form. How's everybody doing? Are you still as good on your form in your 3rd time doing this exercise as you were in the 1st time? I hope so. And if you're not, I want you to recommit to that form, okay? It's important. You know I think it's important, but it's important. All right, and here we are, our last run through these lunges. Make sure that you're, again, really engaging core and leg as you step back up. So this is essentially the ultimate evolution of that box curtsy we were doing earlier. You know, where we're really putting all of that weight here on this front leg and then having to really engage it to stand ourselves back up. I can do a little pushing off of that back leg, but really not a ton because I have it so far back. I'm up on my toes there, so I can't really push particularly well. So all of that standing energy and power was being generated by my leg. All right. Hey, my friends, we are on our last exercise, last time through these awesome TikToks, full body. You can have a nice dramatic exhale as you come up. That might help energize you to get back up into that pike position.
Yeah, we love dramatic breathing here. It reminds us that we are moving. All right, back up. I know you're so close, my loves. Oh, beautiful. Okay, as soon as you hear that horn go off again, we are going to do calf awareness. So as soon as the horn goes off, you're just standing flat on one foot, balancing on that foot. Hey, all right, here we are, just standing and balancing. Really good opportunity to start getting your heart rate back down, getting your breath under control, and we are managing this balance. We are steering the balance with micro movements only from the ankle and the foot, okay? And so we've engaged all of our stabilizing muscle groups, core, glutes, quads, to really control all of the weight from my torso basically down to my knee. And once I have all that under control, my ankle doesn't have as much pressure on it, so it can make those little micro movements without worrying that all of this weight on top is going to go in an unexpected direction and cause the whole apparatus to fall down. All right, we've switched to the other side. Hopefully that's what everybody did when they heard that horn, because I said that a little late. But if you've taken class with me for long enough, you know how this sequence goes. And this is going to be what we finish out class on. So as soon as we are done with this, we're done. Woo! But we're not done yet, so keep on balancing. You will find that one side is better at balancing than the other, or frequently will find that, and that's totally fine. That is totally normal. Don't feel weird about it. Don't get down on yourself for it. Totally normal, okay? So as soon as that horn goes off again, we will switch back to the first leg, but now we will be balancing on the ball of the foot, which is obviously a lot more difficult. Hey, all right, come up onto the ball of that foot, still balancing on that one leg. You're still trying to do all the micro movements from the ankle and foot, but it's going to be way harder because you have even less surface area to balance on. So you will probably wobble and fall out, as you'll notice that I'm doing. And when that happens, you just reset, hold as long as you can, and then when you feel like you need to fall out, don't let yourself fall. Try and control the heel coming down. Really keep control of that fall, and then reset and go again. Don't forget about all of those stabilizing muscle groups. Just because we're doing a more difficult balance does not mean that we don't need them. In fact, we need them more. All right, to the other side. You will notice that I have a tendency to shift a lot around my mat when I am resetting to go back up. That is because I'm using these really thick puzzle pieces underneath my mat. And so it obviously is no longer a stable flat surface. You know, the second I go up into the balance, that surface is pressing down under my feet and sort of shifting the way in which my weight wants to go on it. So I do this. I don't honestly know if it's helpful in anything more than a psychological capacity, but I will shift to try and find a flatter area of the mat to come up on, and then come down. All right, back to that first foot. Now we are going back and forth, first up on the ball, then back on the heel. Up on the ball, back on the heel. And we're just going back and forth on that, okay? When you go back on the heel, you can let your butt come backwards. You do not have to try and keep your body straight up and down, because then you're just lifting your toes up and that becomes really intense. So up on the ball, back on the heel, up on the ball, back on the heel. Again, make sure you're engaging that core. That's going to really help to manage all of the weight of your torso, because again, we don't want our torsos going in some weird direction that our ankle doesn't expect, and then that pulls us out of the movement. All right, other side. So always come back to those stabilizing muscle groups and go, okay, my core is engaged. I feel like I actually am controlling my torso, and now I feel like my balance is a bit more stable, which is awesome. So really try and focus that in. And if you still wobble, that's fine. That happens. Obviously that happens, because it just happened to me. Just reset and get going again, okay? I kind of feel like I'm ice skating a little bit when I come up. My floating leg sort of floats out a little bit. All right, when that horn goes off again, we will be doing our last piece, and it's gonna be rock back onto those heels, and don't let your toes come down until the timer ends. Push all that back a little bit. Just do this here so you can see me. So I am trying to stay balanced and still where I can. When I feel a little too wobbly, then I can shift my legs around, move a little bit, and then try and find another standing position. Hold it. You see my toes are staying up. I am not letting them come down to the ground. So I'm really getting my shins in on this party. All right. And every time I feel myself wobbling, I let myself walk a little bit around, try and balance, hold here, and hey, good job. Oh my goodness. And that is the end of class. Oh, awesome. I hope you had as much fun as I did. I hope you're drinking water. Yes, you. All right, my loves. Thank you so much for being here. What a great way to start off the week. 3 more classes for this week. Tomorrow, obviously, is Jump Around, our cardio class, starting at 4:30 p.m. Mountain Time. Then on Friday, we have Functional Home Fitness, where we do weight training using objects that you can find around your house as our free weights. That's at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. And then Saturday morning, we have our weekend kickoff class, which is a nice old body weight class focused on strength and stamina. And that starts at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. So that's my regular schedule. It doesn't change from week to week, although hopefully eventually I will be able to add a few more things in. But yeah, I hope that you can make it to some more of the classes. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. Facebook and Insta at Blanche Case Fitness, Twitter at Blanche C Fitness. If you enjoyed class and feel able to throw a couple bucks my way, I do have a Ko-Fi account at Blanche Case Fitness, and donations are always appreciated but never required. Far more important that we can join here and exercise together. And if you enjoyed this class and want to keep coming back, do more, want to see more content start to come out on this channel, then please do follow my channel, share it with anyone that you think would enjoy these types of workouts. I'm here 4 days a week, and man, is it fun. I can't wait to do more. So thank you so much for being here. Have a great rest of your week, and maybe I will see you tomorrow afternoon. Mwah. Have a great night.